and you're feeling kinda tired. Hey, radio play the same thing every day. So you need a little switch in your life. Traffic got you jammed up every night. Tune in to Powerhouse. Wednesday 7 to 9, you need to check them out. I promise I ain't trying to hype, but one good listen tonight, it might change your life. So what's the name of the show? When you need something to just ride to on the go. Or you might be home, so log on. You can even dial in on your phone. I promise that you're gonna love it. Just try it one time, it'll blow your mind. Now I'ma say it just one more time. Every Wednesday from 7 to 9. Let's cry. Let's cry. Let's cry. Let's cry. Let's cry.
Good evening, everyone. It is June 22nd. Okay, the 22nd of June, Wednesday. Thank you so much for tuning into the powerhouseradio.com and 89.1 FM radio. Dr. J. Marcus, is you and I tonight. Look like McKenna is still vacationing. Goodness gracious.
Hey. What up? I ain't mad at her though.
Look. It's not bad. And you know what? We all gonna get our turn, but I'm letting all the summer travel get kicking and get in there because it's crowded out there, Marcus. I mean, we've been MIA for 2 weeks. Two weeks we've been MIA, and so much things has happened around this globe. Mm-hmm. First, we want to definitely give shout out to Juneteenth. Yes, the first year is actually a legal government federal holiday. Kudos to Juneteenth. Yes. So it's we finally got it on the map, and you know, after learning so much about Juneteenth just in the last 2 years is amazing. I'm originally from New Jersey, so we didn't hear about this Juneteenth. We didn't hear about when the slaves was freed, and Texas, you know, decides we're not telling them. If we can keep this under wraps forever, we will. But you know, it was 2 years later after they were freed in the emancipation. What is it? I'm saying it fast. I forgot the word. Mess it up.
Emancipation Proclamation.
Yes, was in effect. But the fact is that when they got freed, it's been on a popping, but to actually be on the federal level as far as a holiday besides Martin Luther King Day, it's such a good thing. So kudos. What you got to add in regarding Juneteenth, Marcus?
I think it's interesting though that as far as like a national holiday, I think people were more apt to be off on days like Columbus Day and other holidays. But for whatever reason, if given the option, people would still rather come to work on Juneteenth. I find that interesting and kind of odd, especially because I know, you know, from the times I worked at jobs where we get all these good holidays, people look forward to this. Like anytime they can get off from work, they look forward to it. And to hear people say, well, you know what, I might just come on in and to do some work. Seemed kind of odd to me. But, you know, I guess it's going to take time for people to actually, you know, let some things sink in. But it was a lot of celebrating around across. I know from what I've seen and just driving through, was a lot of celebration. Also, this weekend was Father's Day weekend. This Sunday was Father's Day. So shouts out to all the fathers out there. Happy Father's Day to you. Belated Father's Day to you. I hope you got everything you wanted. I hope those ties were spectacular. I hope your cards were on pernt. So,
Marcus, did you just say you hope all the fathers got what they actually wanted?
Yeah.
Oh man. You know, it's funny you said that because I did see a social media personality. He's a Jamaican DJ. And he was saying he was in Macy's on Sunday, and he was like, wait, yo, like, I don't see nothing in here homage to fathers. They're like, what's up? What's up? And he was like, okay, y'all, fathers, we got to do better. We got to step up. And I was laughing, but I was like, nah, that's just a department. So I'm surprised you didn't see no Christmas tree standing up there. Because, you know, that was like 2 months ago. I was like, you're not familiar with the department stores. Because right now they probably have Halloween stuff out there.
Tell him it ain't up to us to step up. It's the consumers. So that means there's not a lot of people buying Father's Day gifts. That's what the issue and the problem is. That's why they're not selling it.
You know what? It's funny you said that. Look, seriously though, because especially Macy's, they be blowing up sales for Mother's Day, Christmas, Easter, everything. Even like Father's Day, right? So Mother's Day, they had like the 25% off, you know, everything, even designer stuff. And they ran that for like maybe about 2 weeks. And then the week before Mother's Day, excuse me, they just stopped and people were still buying stuff if they didn't catch the sale. But it was funny because Father's Day, they ran that 25% to 2 weeks, you know, before Father's Day. And then they tried to stop. They did end the sale. And they actually brought on another sale. I was like, oh, man, people wasn't really out there. But I was like, I'm sorry.
I get it a little bit because this is why. As a consumer, as a male, you really don't buy Father's Day gifts for your father, right? Your daughters probably could, but everybody buys gifts for Mother's Day, right? Son and daughter buys gifts for Mother's Day. Really, only the daughters, if they feel like it, buy gifts for their fathers. So the sons really don't buy gifts. It may be something like, you know, hey, let me get you a cigar or something, you know, something manly, you know, that we end up getting. And you know, truth be told, we just be chilling. We just want appreciation. That's it. It really don't matter about gifts and stuff like that for us. We just want appreciation on that day. You know what I mean? That's it.
Just making some breakfast, a nice meal.
Yeah, just a little catering.
Give me that's it. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Just a little catering, you know. I mean, anything other than that is dope, but you know, just a little catering just to show, hey, I appreciate you as being my father. That's it.
Okay, I see. So now, children, you heard what the father said, because you know us mothers, we be like the kids, you know, the children has to do the gifting, you know, because that's not my daddy. I gotta deal with my daddy. So even for me, as you know, what I do, I do my part. However, I think is women, we're so special. So yes, we want not only the children and the spouse or the partner to acknowledge us. You know, we want everybody to. So I get it. Welcome, McKenna. Guess what? She came up for air. Did you come up for air? McKenna thought you was still hanging out there on the vacay. I was like, where's she at?
Good evening, everybody, and happy Wednesday. That heat got me, and I took one of those naps, and I was like, oh, wait. It's not Saturday. This is not Saturday. Wake back up.
Oh, wow. Yeah, speaking about the heat, it's serious out there. 97, 98, feeling like 108, 110.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm saying I already saw on the news that someone, you know, has already left their child in the car.
Right, MG, are you serious? This happens every year. I don't understand how you leave your pet or your child in the car this time of year for an extended period of time. I mean, anything more than 3 minutes is too long.
And they were 5 years old, not a baby, 5 years old.
Wow.
So I'm sorry, there's no excuse. It's just so hot. Even just coming out of your door, that heat hit you so hard.
Yeah. All I did was roll the garbage can back to the side. And I was like, oh.
McKenna, what you said? You was happy that you made it back indoors?
I mean, all I did was go get the garbage can and come right back. And I was like, ooh, it hit me. So, you know, on that Gripe, you know, we try not to judge people, but we do critique and comment, you know, on people's actions and behaviors. And leaving your child or your pet in the car, I mean, every single year in the summertime, there's a story like this. It doesn't fail. Every year, somebody in one of these states leaves a child or a dog in a car for an extended period of time, and there's fatalities that happen, and it's horrible and it's sad, and it's just hard to understand. Like, what were you thinking? Like, what was going through your mind that this was a good idea, and where were you going that your child couldn't go with you for those moments?
They say she was prepping for a birthday party of some sort.
A birthday party?
I don't know if she was the planner. I don't know if the party was for him or the child. I don't know. I don't know none of that. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. A lot of times, I glance at stories like that and I don't want to hear anymore. I don't want to know the reasoning. I just don't want to hear any more about it. Just because it's really unfortunate to know that a child suffered in that way, because it's not something that happens instantly. You know what I mean? Like, that child suffers.
Okay, I found it, and it was in Houston. So we know that Texas has been part of this heat wave that's going on. And as you stated, the child was 5 years old, and she went to prepare for her daughter's birthday party. The mother was in a rush, the article reads. And when she got home with her son, the boy was left in the car. Wow. And it wasn't until 2 or 3 hours later that the mother realized her son was still buckled into his car seat. First responders pronounced the child dead at the scene. It's unclear if the mother will face charges, according to the article. I mean, just how horrible must his parent feel? I mean, just showing some empathy right now. Like, how horrible do you feel as a parent? And then the sibling, because there was a sibling involved. And then I'm sure the mother had some family members. Like, how, this is something that can tear an entire family to shreds.
Yeah, because the daughter, right? It's not even her birthday. It's not even. It's her birthday. So every year her birthday comes around, this will be the stigma attached to it. Mm-hmm. Every year.
Every year. Every year. And then if the mom is charged and goes to jail or prison for any length of time, there's that secondary trauma that's attached. Now I lost my mom too. It's tough. It's tough. Pay attention, everyone. You know, make good decisions. Think about what you're doing. Stop being in a hurry. You know, being in a hurry sometimes causes us to make some bad decisions. You know, whether it's running a red light or, you know, running out the house and forgetting your wallet. Being in a hurry sometimes creates situations where bad things happen. So slow down. That birthday party, you know, it'll be all right. It will be all right.
Well, our condolences go out to the family and friends of the toddler. It's sad. Mm-hmm. And even there was a breaking news yesterday in Jamaica. A mother, 31 years old. She had 4 children. The oldest was 15. The youngest was 23 months old. They were all murdered in their home, and each of them, their throats were slashed. So they saw each other being killed. And they said one of the child, you can tell that they were trying to get under the bed, run under the bed. And the person of interest is a cousin.
Sounds about right.
It's horrible. It's so sad. And the mother of the daughter, the 31-year-old mother, that was her only daughter.
And all her grandkids.
All of her grandchildren.
My goodness.
Were murdered. It's sad. You sit back and you said, what is the world coming to? if you believe in God and the Bible, you're saying it's end of the time, God is coming, whatever your beliefs are. But it really make you wonder that everything that's going on today, is it the sign of the time? Regardless if you believe or not. How
It's,
do
it's just a
you
reminder of things that we've talked about before, that we just need more love in this world. Like, in order to murder somebody, there's an absence of some love. There's an absence of some connection to this is a life. And despite how I may feel about this person, maybe I'm upset, maybe I'm jealous, maybe I'm confused, whatever those other feelings are, there's a lack of compassion for life. And taking another person's life, you have to have a complete lack of compassion and connection to that individual as a human being. It's not like you're smashing a roach or a cricket or a spider. Those types of lives we disregard. Yes, if you see a roach or a bug or a spider, you're going to smash that. And we don't have regards for insects and pests. But for human beings, not even a family member, just a regular human being, the fact that we have the capacity to extinguish somebody's life, and actually not just a fleeting thought like, man, I wish I could choke the life out of you, or I want to beat your tail, but to actually take someone's life. And then after you do the first person, because you said it was 5 people, you still have the wherewithal to go through and terminate the next person's life. Horrendous. It aches my heart.
Yeah, it's very sad. Very sad. I literally, maybe about 2 hours before the show, I always give my thanks and glory to God um, about waking me up, giving me another day, making it through the day. And I literally just went into and just start praying for the world, because it's just so much things are just happening that is so sad. We were just talking about Juneteenth, McKenna, and we were just saying, how it was 2 years after, the slaves was free, Texas slaves found out that they were free, and how they celebrated. And you thinking like, oh my goodness, that those times were bad. So you would think, okay, when even people say we made it, we know technically we didn't, because it's shown every day in the courts and with the police, and even working with a company, how, we are still treated differently. But then now when you come into dealing with those other things, you're dealing with senseless murders, and it's every day. It's getting worse and worse.
And I think part of that is it's just highlighted more. We have so much access to instant information. And so, because we have so much access to instant information, we're saturated with stories about high speed chases and people shooting each other and gun violence. And, will the House and the Senate come together and make some changes about the laws? And, who's running for governor in what state? So we have access to this instant information. And we imagine finding out something 2 years later. Like, that doesn't happen today. Like, today, something happens, it's posted, we have access to it. But imagine how slow the grapevine was. The grapevine was 2 years slow. That's very, very slow. That's almost deliberately slow. Like, you just got the memo. I mean, I remember even as a child, something happened. By the time you get home, by 8 o'clock, the phone is ringing and the family grapevine is working. Cousin so-and-so called so-and-so to share the information. So even in our family, before Instagram, and Twitter and Facebook, we had the family grapevine. We had the phone, and the neighbor may come over and say, hey, so-and-so, did you hear about such and such that happened today? And news travel. But imagine how slow it was to get a very important piece of information that you no longer have the legal authority over me. Maybe social authority, because we know that it took time for the society to adjust to the law. But the legal authority is no longer what you have over me. And I'm just now finding out. So, yes, I applaud our ancestors who celebrated jubilantly when they learned this news. But I can also imagine how fearful and angry and confused and wondrous they were about, oh my goodness, now what do I do next? The
Yeah.
law says, you're talking about people who couldn't even read, right? They
Yeah.
couldn't read the law. I'm, so this is literally word of mouth.
Yeah.
And I have a friend that was born in Texas, and to hear her tell me about their tradition, and even hearing when I looked at some things through YouTube, and to hear her say growing up, like, we celebrated June 19th more than we would celebrate July 4th.
Yeah.
She was like, we celebrating this. She said if it was on a weekend, oh, the whole weekend they're celebrating. She said, we had to have the strawberry soda or strawberry drink. The drink we drinking on that day it's a red drink. And come to find out, the red drink, if it's a strawberry soda, that represented the blood. And they just have this big, barbecue cookout. And so technically, guys, that's where this whole cookout came from, and it makes me, and I didn't take off because I didn't realize it, because remember, this just was signed in last year. So didn't remember. By the time I did, it was too late to even try to get off. But that is going to be just the way I request Memorial Day and Labor Day. Yeah, June 19th. If it falls on the day that I'm working, or even this year it fell on Sunday, which I was off, but it's celebrated on the Monday. So from now on, it will be celebrated. I will definitely celebrate it like Christmas and Thanksgiving and other, because when you hear the history, it makes you definitely want to be a part of the celebration.
And I know they had some specials on TV. I haven't had a chance to circle back because I was on vacation to watch, some of the history and the documentation, that was aired on TV. So I do look forward to going back and watching some of that, because, even as we celebrate things like Black History and MLK, it just reconnects us to our lineage and our history. And when you see those things, for me, it moves me. Sometimes it moves me in a spirit of gratitude. Like, I am so grateful that that was not my experience, that I didn't actually have to live through that, and I can reap some of the benefits of what my ancestors went through. And it encourages me to remember that we're resilient people, and that through prayer and through hard work, through community, that we can accomplish great things. And we are more than just our circumstance and our environment when we are compelled to, push through our obstacles. So, I join you on making sure that I don't take that Juneteenth holiday lightly, and that I spend some time celebrating it going forward. Like, just like I would wear red, white, and blue, for the 4th of July, I need me a Juneteenth t-shirt to acknowledge and celebrate. So.
Yes, kudos. So it was a long time coming, and it's finally here. So kudos to President Biden for signing that in. So kudos again. Also talking about President Biden, yesterday they had the primary runoffs. Were you guys able to get out there and vote? Because I didn't realize that until the night before. And it was so sad because you don't hear much of it. And when I think I end up hearing something about another state, and I said, well, let me check Georgia. And when I saw that, I was like, oh, I got to get out of there. And I did. I worked yesterday and got out there, and I went and voted. It was sad because the only cars that was in the parking lot was the staff workers. I mean, I was in and out. So I'm not sure what that means for the November election as far as, because I wasn't sure. I don't know if are you guys familiar? So if you did not, because I know they said if you did not vote like for the primaries, you weren't able to vote in the primary runoffs. That's what I was hearing. But for the ones who didn't vote for the primaries, are they able to vote in the November election? That is something that I've been trying to research.
I don't know. I heard that I thought it was more along the lines of whichever party you voted for in the primary, that you had to vote along that party line. I don't know I'm unclear about if you didn't vote at all, then you don't get a vote. But I know they did say that, which has always made me kind of, I guess, a little indifferent about it, is that you have to vote with the party that you voted for in the primary all the time. So that's the only thing I know that you have to do. They won't let you vote for whatever reason. Let you vote any other way.
Well, I did notice that yesterday, because when I first went to vote for the primaries, they did ask me if it, Democrat or Republican. But when I went yesterday, that was not a question. They was able to pull up my information, I guess, from the driver's license and saw what party I voted for. So that was automatic. But I'm wondering, so maybe that's something that we're going to research, and then we could come back next week with it, so we could even let our listeners know if they weren't able to vote in the primaries, if they'll be able to vote in the election in November. Because at least that would be good information. I think they can, from what I was reading. I think they can. I think they just couldn't, if they didn't vote in the primary, they couldn't vote in the primary runoffs. But I think the general election they can. But guess what? That's a good topic. So we'll research that, because this election, especially in Georgia, we need it, because these seats look like they're about to go back to the red. And if we talking about high gas prices and how food is going up, yeah, we're gonna be middle class folks, and even in between middle class and rich, gonna be at the food bank, and then that's gonna take away from the less fortunate. So I believe that this is very serious at this point in time.
So I was just reading an article, speaking of summer and things that happen in the summer. Another thing that happens in the summer are these shark attacks. So this was the first one that I've heard of so far. Shark attack in California. Man was out there surfing. Shark attacks him. People swim out to assist. Law enforcement, they now have drones to go out there to see if they can find the shark. And so if you're a surfer, be careful out there on those shores, because we know that this time of year, there is always a report of a shark attack, and either somebody being fatally injured or severely injured, requiring, lots of surgeries and things of that nature. So be careful if you're swimming, if you're around the pool, if you're on a beach, because although it's summer and it's hot and we like to enjoy the weather and the elements, we still have to be mindful of nature. Nature takes no regard for your food, for sharks. They see you splashing around, and it draws attention to them. And yes, we know that, each year, because of, just the different tides, and the sharks are coming closer to the shore. So we've seen evidence of that over the last several years, that they're coming closer and closer, because they're more curious and more curious. And so be careful. We would hate to see more of these stories, happening throughout the rest of the summer.
So McKenna, were they able to save the surfer?
So for the part of the story that I saw, yes, that it wasn't fatal, that the Coast Guard or the life people came over and they were able to assist. So I will check back on that story. But from the part that I did read, that person did survive with some severe injuries. But
well, that's good to know. That's good to know. So of course, go ahead, McKenna.
Speaking of the beach, going on vacation is beautiful. So we here at Let's Gripe encourage people to take trips and travel or do something that you enjoy. Travel is very hectic and stressful. It's all over the news. People are posting about how the summer travel is going to look different than it did last year and the past couple of years. So plan accordingly. I mean, there are reports that if you need to be somewhere, take that first flight out, maybe even the day before, because the cancellations and the delays are not going anywhere anytime soon. So if you have an important trip to get to, a wedding, graduate, just something important that's important to you, plan accordingly. Give yourself ample time to get to the airport. Give yourself ample time to get to your event. Don't take the 3 o'clock flight if you need to be there by 7, because if that 3 o'clock flight is delayed, you will not make it by 7 o'clock. Rent your cars in advance because there's still a shortage of rental cars out there and prices are extremely high and or competitive. And so if you forgot to rent your car when you booked your reservation and you remembered it the day before, you may be in a situation where there are no cars to rent. Lyft and Uber is ultra slow and expensive because of gas increase prices and then shortage of drivers. So whereas 3 summers ago, you were like, oh, I didn't rent a car, I can just Uber and Lyft anywhere I want to go. You may be waiting for an hour, and then your trip is canceled because that driver decided, I did enough for today. I'm going to go home and relax. So we just encourage our listeners to still enjoy the summer, still enjoy life, still do things that bring joy, relaxation, and pleasure, but build some extra time in there. And above all, have plenty of patience, because without it, you might be Snap City on somebody who's trying to run over you because they're in a hurry.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm a piggy bank on that. So a week ago, or almost 2 weeks ago, I did go out of town, and we did flights, no delays, no cancellation, kudos. However, we did get to our destination, rented our car from the H car rental company. They the color of the powerhouse color. This gold over here. So, when you say that H word, that's elite. That's top of the line. However, we waited an hour and a half to get that rental car. Huh? Would you say have a seat and they're going to call when the car is ready? Okay. I think I could do that. I'm waiting for 10, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour. I was like, we need to go and check and see what's going on. Well, as the cars coming in, we got to clean them and get them ready to get. What? An hour and a half to get a rental car. Okay. Taking Uber to the airport. I'm being nice. I'm a tip the driver $10 because we know how it's hard in the streets. You know how Uber send you the stuff, your stuff after you done Uber and everything. So I go and I'm like, it was like, ask you if you want a tip. So I was like, oh, my tip didn't go through. How about I tip the driver double? Like I know it's hard in the street, but it ain't that hard. Could I tried everything, and I'm like, listen, I over-tipped this driver. I was doubling it, but I wasn't tripping. I wasn't tripling it, okay?
Right.
So I'm gonna have to write it off. I'm just gonna have to write it off. Right now, whatever extra I got to buy and pay for, I'm just writing it off, y'all. I'm writing it off. I bought my phone the other day. I fought and I kicked and I screamed and I said, but if you don't do it, you're gonna be mad. Your phone just die on you. I had an S8, y'all. Don't judge me. It did do what it was supposed to do. Yes, Marcus, an S8. Yes,
What's that? What kind of phone is that?
That's a Galaxy.
Oh,
Android.
Samsung Galaxy S8.
Anyway, it came out in 2016. It did what it was supposed to do. Yeah, y'all iPhone, y'all can stay over there. But I still didn't want an iPhone. And I mean, I'm telling you, I went to my provider, and then I went to Best Buy. I went everywhere to try to see if I could get me a deal. So I did find a deal on, BB. And I just, before I was able to finish purchasing it, I was saying to myself, I said, okay, let me see how much this insurance is if something happened to it. It's telling me some $200 and only gonna cover some screen. Okay, I'm not gonna get that because what if my phone's stolen? They not gonna cover it. So I said, I'm not gonna pay $200. So I just was figuring it out. I said, well, I do need this, and I do need this because I do use my phone for business every time. And I said, well, and then I had to, how I consult myself was saying, I'm just gonna have to write it off. So as I purchased the phone, I went on the Big A and said, I'm going to get me my case because I'm not going to activate my phone or take it out the house without it being the case, y'all. Because, that's when that certain D person be hanging around this way like, oh, a new phone, no case, no insurance, boom. When I tell y'all that phone came, I said the case was supposed to be coming behind it, so it didn't. I waited till the case came the next day, and I said okay. And I was trying to put the case on, I couldn't, so I put the phone back in the box. Took the case, and I went to my provider. Can you help me put this case on? I done switched everything over, y'all. But I'm telling you, it's real out here in the streets. So who is in denial that it's hard out here in the streets? I'm not afraid to say it. It's hard in the street. Because trust and believe me, I'm going to get me at least 5 years out of this phone. You understand me? 5.
So speaking of hard out here in these streets, my little cousin called me the other day. And we were just chatting it up. So she was on her way to get some chicken for one of our family members because they wanted something to eat. So she gets to the drive-thru and she was like, what? She started screaming. I said, what's the matter? She said an 8-piece is $24.99. I said, 8 pieces of what? I said, 8 pieces of what? She was like, chicken. I said, no, ma'am. She was like, the family meal says 8 pieces, $24.99. I said,
What family they feed?
8 pieces of chicken.
But wait a minute, y'all. See, for people, that's why I love me, because I love to cook, y'all. So that won't hurt my feelings, because I'm a cook. You see what I'm saying? I'm going to put something together. But talking about that chicken, I went on Instacart on Saturday because, I be buying my whole young chicken from Publix. And I be getting it for like $5 and some. I'm okay with that. Maybe sometime $4 and some. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to order me 2 because, I don't buy one or nothing, especially when it's at a good price.
Facts.
I couldn't order my chicken, y'all. One of it was $10, $9.96. It done double on me. So I said, oh my goodness. I like having my wings, my thighs, my breast, even the chicken back when I cut it up to curry it. Now I got to go back to leg quarters.
Lord.
I said, it's real.
It's real out here. Oh,
it's real.
It is $10.
My feelings was hurt.
It used to be $5.99.
I used to get 2 whole chickens from Publix at that, y'all, for $10, maybe $11 for everything. When I saw $9.96, my feelings was hurt. I said, well, maybe that's the wrong one. And then, it have the reminder, bought before, previously purchased. So they even gonna rub it in my face and say, this is the one you buy. Yep, no, that's not the wrong one. That's the right one. And I looked at it and I said, I just won't be able to do it. And I didn't purchase my order from Instacart because I just couldn't do it. And I'm still not over it. So, of course, when I heard McKenna telling the story about the fast food, I'm still like, oh, yeah, that's right. So I just believe for the working poor, because there is such thing as a working poor. You cannot get food stamps or any assistance because you make too much, right? And you ain't rich, okay? So because of that, everything you buy and everything that you do, you are using cash or credit, still working poor. It is now the time for everyone, even though you still have a little reserve, and even though you can go and buy that 8-piece of chicken for $24, it is time to sit back and say, well, this $25 could get me a couple of package of meat and maybe some noodles and here. And so it's more time. It's now. Don't wait till the last, because I decided to do that as well. That, oh yeah, I probably could buy the chicken instead of 2. I just buy 1. And I had to sit back and say, okay, we're gonna have to watch for the sales and maybe have to go to maybe a wholesaler or something to see if I could get it for less. But we have to start budgeting. Because remember before, but see, I told y'all last year and the year before, when them folks was getting them stimulus check, I knew it was coming. Because see, everybody was spending money like everybody was big baller shot callers. Right? Everybody was.
And look at me now.
Look at me now.
Look at me now. $24.
I'm complaining about some $10 whole young chicken.
A pseudo-vegetarian, vegetable-tarian is what I call them, because it's going to be more vegetables than anything else on this plate. Because it's going to be buy a 10-pound bag of rice and some cabbage and have curry cabbage and curry potatoes without the meat is what's about to happen.
In that order right there.
Because the meat is ridiculous. Or you go back where you have like a half a piece of meat because you're stretching it out. And then the rest is just the gravy and the rice and the potatoes and the cabbage, is all I'm saying.
When I used to hear my mom and other older people who grew up in Jamaica, they would say, if they made rice and some curry chicken, or they made some dumpling and banana and curry chicken, they're going to tell you your plate is filled with all that rice and you got one little piece of meat on the top of gravy. If we don't be careful, that's what's going to be happening. My cousin Andrea G, for one, she used to laugh at me all the time because when oxtail started getting high, her daughter loved oxtail. And I said, well, when I cook oxtail, I said I love oxtail, but I eat 4, I'm good. Because, with the gravy, everything. She says, Tonya, you funny. She said, literally, you be talking about like 4 pieces of oxtail. I was like, yeah. I was like, shoot, back in the days, people used to get 2 oxtail. She was like, I just can't believe you seriously be counting oxtail. I said, yes, honey, I do count oxtail. It's expensive. No, you're not getting no 10 piece of oxtail on no plate. And she was like laughing at me, but I was like, it's for real. And I literally can't eat 4 pieces of oxtail. It's not those big chunks. You know how Jamaican cut they're smaller. But it was just the fact that she was having a field day on me talking about some 4 pieces. Like, it's expensive.
Because that oxtail plate at the Jamaican place used to be $12.99.
How much is it now? I heard one time, the last time I heard it was like about what, $20?
It's like $19.99, depending on where you are. It's expensive. Like I remember when the oxtail plate, back when I first moved to Atlanta, it was $9.99, and you were like, "Oh, it's a little expensive," but it would always be good. Like that gravy is just yummy. Then it went up, but now you need a whole $20 per person. Like you used to be able to go out to eat, and you would spend $20, and that would cover me and MG, and we might even have a few change left over. Now you need your own $20 bill. You need your own. Everybody needs their own $20 bill, and they may need to put something with it.
So what y'all saying is people should be doing Dutch these days?
Actually, no. What people need to be doing is like, because I could cook some oxtail real good. Like, so if you and McKenna want some oxtail, what we gonna do? We just gonna drop $25 each. That's $75 right there. And then I'm just gonna go up to up the road up here and get the box. Because the other day I went and it was $85 for the box, and I got 4 tails. I could do that. Then you could get more than
Okay. So okay. So back up because you're talking real stuff right now. Okay.
Real stuff.
So how many oxtails are we gonna get?
Now we going in $25 each.
Yeah.
You listen. You gonna even have enough to take home. That's how we do that. Cause we going in on that oxtail.
Okay.
See, we going in on the oxtail. So now when I cook it, it'll be like, okay, y'all eating something now? Okay, cool. All right, y'all going to get y'all's take home.
Okay.
Be good.
So
Now, if I buy the oxtail box for some $85, $90, yep, you about to get about 5 pieces. Because I'll be nice to get you extra piece.
real quick, I've never been one of those people that buy things off the street. You know.
What you mean?
You know, like you might be in the salon. Back when I used to go to the salon, the man would come in and he would have stuff off the street. It's just I'm just not one of those people that buy stuff off the street. But lately, I've seen these meat trucks.
Hey.
And in my mind, I might have to reconsider my moral compass because desperate times require desperate action. So I've noticed an uptick, and maybe it's just I've noticed them. Maybe they've always been out there. But I've noticed these meat trucks. They might just be parked in a location temporarily just for like 2 hours. And they have a little sign on there. You can get you a whole box of meat for $35.99 or $40. And I was like, who sells meat out of a truck? I had to think about it.
Do you know
sometimes they fall off the truck, or they might have just mistakenly did not get put in the store from the truck.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know, because you know I don't trust everybody nowadays. So if it's an open box, I don't know.
No, actually, they're vacuum sealed. Like
okay.
This meat it's almost like it came from the warehouse. Like you said, it's vacuum sealed in boxes. It didn't make it wherever it was supposed to go.
Exactly.
It was like the restaurant. Like this was restaurant style meat where and it had labels like this was this cut of meat, and this row was this cut of meat, and this row was this cut of meat, and it was vacuum sealed. Because somebody showed me a picture. I'm like, what did you buy?
I wonder what would happen. So like, let's say if you got to hook up, you had a farmer or somebody who or even a meat plant or whatever else. How much money do you think they have to pay truckers to come transport their meat to wherever it has to go? How much money do you think you have to pay? Now, if you were to know somebody who you can wholesale it to, you probably cut down on a lot of those expenses because the meat is already paid for. You don't have to pay for shipping. They come to get the meat. You just give it directly to them. Now, what they do with the meat is on them, but they buy wholesale.
Right, but some truckers, what they do, because I do have family that's in the trucking business. So say, for instance, that delivery had to be at, say, Publix by 5:00 today, and the trucker got there like, say, 5:15. They can refuse the delivery. So when they refuse the delivery, it's that you can't. It doesn't go back. It doesn't go back to the shipper. It's because you were late for your delivery, and because of that, or even like maybe say one of the pilot was disturbed, they refuse it. So like I said, I had family in that business, so a lot of times I'm like, hey, I got some hot rolls over here, and I got some, yeah. So that's what happened to it. So a lot of times, if that delivery is rejected, then you got stuff for days. And usually those truckers, they give it to friends and family.
For your side hustle. It's like, okay, this truck was late. I need to unload this product because otherwise I'm not going to get paid. So
right. And plus you got to have another pickup too. Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It's real in the streets. But guys, go ahead and like and share. Let's Gripe. Tell your friends. You can listen to us at thepowerhouseradio.com. If you're driving in the car, you can actually dial 667-930-9036, and you can listen to us. If you can't, check us out live on YouTube if you're driving, and the Powerhouse Radio. And, we're here 24/7 a day as far as music-wise, but we do have different programs on daily. So, again, we do thank you so much for supporting the powerhouseradio.com and 89.1 91.1 FM and Let's Gripe, because without you guys, we couldn't do it. Because like I said, I feel flattered when I get texts like, you guys not coming on tonight, so forth. So yes, thank you so much for definitely supporting the Powerhouse Radio and all their shows, especially Let's Gripe as well. So if you have anything that you want us to share, talk about, you want to hear our opinions, don't forget, the Peach Corner is still here as well. By the way, guys, you got any gripe? Because I got a gripe. I don't know if it's a gripe, but I don't know. Anybody got any gripe?
I have a congratulations.
All right, go on with the congratulations.
I don't know if we covered this, but congratulations to the Golden State Warriors.
Congratulations. Woohoo!
Congratulations to Steph and his wife, who hung out in petticoat streets for a little bit. I love it.
Did they have a baby or something?
No. They had some haters in Boston, and they just kind of snapped back a little bit. And I like when
sometimes you got to snap back.
Sometimes you got to be petty. Like in Boston, somebody put at a restaurant that Aisha, which is his wife, can't cook. So
I love it. So, I actually love it.
So what they did was they went and got T-shirts that said Aisha can cook, and then donated some proceeds to like some children foundation or some impoverished kids. They made lemonade out of lemons.
Exactly. That's how you do that.
Only in sports. I love it.
But you know what? You have to have that skin. You have to have that thick skin, or you got to have them quick clapbacks. It's not you're gonna be somewhere in the closet or the back of the room huffing and puffing and being mad. So you got to be ready for these folks. But hey, guess what? Monique, I guess a whole lot of people have advised her that she is being canceled again. So she had a show the other day. So she apologized to the wife and his daughter for bringing them in their stuff.
Mm-hmm.
She still, she still meant what she said about DL, but she apologized to the wife and the daughter.
Yeah, it's still too late. I mean, I don't know where her career is going to be. I guess 50 Cent still going to help her out, let her play in the Dope Boy TV show or whatnot. But they were coming for her head.
Yes, a lot of people they was like she just went too far with that whole situation.
It's sometimes when you have people on social media have blinders towards people, you know what I mean? And because she's been out of the scene so much that, because a lot of people was rocking with her. They was like, because a lot of people are anti-establishment, and that's what she embodied at that time, the anti-establishment. But now you're not going against any establishment. You're going against a person and their family. A family who said nothing about you. Who didn't wish you any ill will. None of that stuff. But you came for them because you wanted to stir up some stuff. You talking about you just telling jokes, as you say. But then it starts to dawn on people. Well, maybe she really is this way. Maybe those other people that were saying she was this way, when we were saying she was just anti-establishment, maybe she just is toxic that way.
Yeah, because one of our listeners, she was saying, because how I was saying how Oprah, Tyler was willing to come to her rescue and be like, okay, my bad, and I was saying how Oprah was like, no, she did to us. And the listener was like, I agree. Because they knew that she wasn't going to do right. And I said, I just see that. And I can see Oprah is like, you know what? Everything that went on, the world didn't have to know, period. And because she took it there and she keep dragging it, I don't want to be a part of that. Because guess what? Something else happened and she don't like it. She gonna turn around and do the same thing. Mm-hmm. And that's what she did. So the thing is that she does have to deal with her whole future and whatever comes of it, because you have to be able to mature from things. You have to learn from things. There's a thing like, you did something wrong and your parents, you got discipline. Either you got a whooping or you got punishment, got your toys, your phone, everything taken away. By the time you are given these things back, you should have learned something from it. Not, well, if I behave myself, I get my stuff back. Not only that, well, what I did, it was really wrong. I shouldn't have done it, or I should have did it a certain way. I should have listened to my parents when they told me to do this and do that, or I should have done my work in school. I shouldn't have disrespected my teacher, etc. You learn from it and you say, okay, I'm not going to make that mistake again. That's the part.
Yeah.
I would deal with any issues that I have in this industry behind closed door. Matter of fact, I'm going to let my lawyers do it.
Facts.
But instead, you going out there, what? You didn't have no jokes? So you had to go there? It's not cute. People will laugh for a minute, but then they sit back there and be like, well, yeah, she didn't have to do that. So again, it's not all the time you get a second chance. So Kim said, Monique, she is hurt, lashing out in the wrong way. Hurt people.
Facts.
So true. Hey, Kim. But when is people going to realize, and we could definitely come back to this next week. When are people going to understand that not because you are hurt does not mean that you need to hurt someone else, especially the person who didn't hurt you?
And on that note, that's a great topic for next week. Because
Exactly.
People hurt people, and we are around here hurting people that didn't hurt us. That
didn't hurt you. Before we go, my gripe is I had a I don't know how to say this word, but you know how you answer the phone and you say hello, and the person's like hello, even like as the phone ring, you pick it up and you hello, and I'm like, okay, yes, go ahead, hello, and me, I could be comical when I'm ready, and I'm very professional when I'm ready, and I think I was just so frustrated because this person, for whatever reason, you didn't even allow the time for me to say even hello, and you just hello, to the point when I did say so. I was like, "Are you deaf?" On that note,
that's what you asked. Oh.
It ready to sip. Like, where's Kermit the Frog? I mean, what happened to him?
It came out wrong, but I didn't know. I just, when I said it, I said, wow, maybe I should say, are you hearing impaired? Or I'm sorry, I just came out and was like, are you deaf?
So is your gripe about you?
People are too much in a rush. They got too much issues, and they taking it out on wrong folks. And on that note, I know I need a vacation, but I'm just gonna wait till this traveling calm down. But I'm serious. And on that note, I'm gonna call my counselor in a minute too, because I know I'm gonna need it. On that note, guys, we're going to see you next week, and we definitely going to talk about hurting people. We need to stop hurting people. On that note, thank you again. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, because guess what? Without you guys, we wouldn't be here. Thank you so much for tuning in to Let's Gripe at thepowerhouseradio.com. And you know what? See, that's what happened when you get to work from home. You play with the ironing board behind you. I'm just saying. But you know what? He get a pass because I just asked this person if they were deaf. Okay. On that note,
good night, y'all. Thanks for tuning in.
We love you. We love you. Thanks for tuning in. Have a good night at the Let's Gripe.
To the sounds of DJ Fourth Quarter in your ear right now. If you're at home, if you're on your phone, let's gripe, baby. Driving home and you're feeling kind of tired. Hey, Radio play the same thing every day, so you need a little switch in your life. Traffic got you jammed up every night. Tune in to Powerhouse. Wednesday 7 to 9, you need to check them out. I promise I ain't trying to hype, but one good listen tonight, it might change your life. So what's the name of the show? You need something to just ride to on the go, or you might be home, so log on. You can even dial in on your phone. I promise that you're gonna love it. Just try it one time, it'll blow your mind. Now I'ma say it just one more time. Every Wednesday from 7 to 9.
You're in tune to the Powerhouse Radio, linking the world to the Caribbean.
Victorious 89.1 WAKE. Your unity in the community station.
You're in tune to the Powerhouse Radio, linking the world to the Caribbean.
Let's gripe.